Hello and welcome to a new project, an introduction to making a needlebook but then turning it into something else and then turning it back into maybe a needlebook, and maybe you want one with 3 sections or 1 section or 2 sections. So I've pulled out some fabrics, I've got my orts, I've got felt, fabrics and quilted piece. If you don't have a quilted piece, I can show you what to do to make yourself a quilted piece with just scraps and wadding. If you don't have wadding, then you can use felt or a few layers of extra fabric. Okay, let's get started. So I've cleared everything away and we're back to basics. I have a piece of quilted blanket, or quilt, sorry, a piece of quilt out of my stash, and I've gone in and found some felt pieces which had been left over from the MMM craft for the stitching along thing with the Christmas ornaments. Oh, I choked myself. All right, so what have we got? We just need to get the size that you want, and then you cut your felt to the size inside the quilt piece. If you don't have felt, you can always go and use flannelette. That could be a possible way of getting it into your needlebook. But I said that this is going to be a needlebook, but then I have an idea that I want to turn it into something else other than a needlebook. So what are we going to do first? Well, like I said, we've cut the pieces out and I don't really need to do anything with them. I just need to sit them in the book, and when the book closes over, it's going to be a nice chunky needlebook. So what thread are we going to use? I'm trying to use up my stash of orts, and I think I'm going to use this pink because I want to use all the 6 strands. I don't want to go splitting anything. I don't want to go cutting anything because every time I try and get rid of it, you're always just adding to it. So I'm not going to cut the threads down. I want them that thick, and I can't remember what needle I'm using. Chenille number 18, possibly. What is it? The higher the number, the smaller the eye. The lower number, the bigger the eye. Correct me if I'm wrong. I'll just thread up my needle. Isn't that lovely? I don't know if you can see that. Such a lovely colour, they orts, when they're all together. Okay. Now I haven't done much preparation for this. But what I need to do is find the middle first of all, because otherwise I'm not going to get the middle and it's driving me up the wall. So the middle, roughly there. Now these are slightly different sizes, but I'm not going to worry about it. I just want to make sure that that gets in the middle. Okay. I'm going to come up inside. Oh, that didn't work. Slowly, no knot, so I'm just gently putting that in there, and then I will slip stitch couple of stitches to hold it together. Okay. Now I'm going to get my ruler. Rule down there. Can you hear that funny noise? That's my dog trying to make his bed. Right, I'm going to go down here. And try and go straight. To lock that in. Let's see if I can draw a line. I would really like to try and go straight. And go down here. We'll just go up and down. So I will do this and come back. I'll bring you back this way a little bit. There we go. Can you see now? Yep. If you see a brown thing, that's my dog. He just wants to sit on my lap. So I've done all that now, and I've just got one more stitch to do. And the mat underneath is very good to help you keep your fabric flat, but it helps guide. If I stick it in there, it sort of locks into the mat. I find it a lot easier to, I don't know, do the stitches right. Let me just get out of that one. Oh, it'll be all right, I think. Let's just lock this one in because it's going to go in on its own direction. What I could have done is measured out the length of the stitches and have them even, but that takes time, and I don't want to do that. Okay, so what we'll do is we will come back in through that, tie a knot, and then thread that back through the wadding and hide it. Make sure you don't pull it too tight. And then I'll find some smaller scissors. Excuse me. Charlie, you're squashing my belly. You're squashing yourself. I don't know what's the matter with you today. You've been a sookie lala. Okay. So that's done. I think he's got an upset tummy. I can hear lots of gurgling. Poor Charlie. So there we have a very quick make of a needle book. All I've got to do now, that's the front. All I've got to do now is blanket stitch around the edges, and I will come back and show you that. I'm back with it finished around the blanket stitch, and then as I was just thinking about it, you know, stuff when you're stitching, I thought, oh, I wonder where that piece is, and I cut this out ages ago from my what's it called again, the Roxy Journal of Stitchery project that we did, Still Life. I didn't like what I had. I will revisit it again another time, but right now I salvaged this off it, and I thought, I like this piece. I shall put it in, I'll put it on my needle case. Just needs a little bit of a trim. just to freshen up the edges. There we go. Of course, I put it made a mess. And I had this thread left over. It was one big long piece. And I thought, you know what, I'm just going to leave it. Just leave it there and just deal with the longness of it. And then now I want to use it for this. I think it's going to look lovely on there. So I'm going to go in here. Weave my way through and come out right there. Do I want it there? Yep, that'll do. Not changing the thread, leaving it all as thick as it can be. I think sometimes it's nice when it's thick. It makes it a good, stable lockdown of the stitches. Now I'm just going to try and do overcast stitch around the piece. So that's just picking up the fabric and not going through under there, if you weren't sure what that meant. If I find that it's fraying too much again, I'll just come back with some normal threaded cotton and go in between stitches. Can't believe I've got so many projects going on and then I just decide to do this. I've been wanting to do this for ages. Sometimes you just got to bite the bullet and do it. Now I don't have any pins down, so I should at least just tack a pin in there. Knowing my luck, it'll just go all skew whiff and off centre. I could come back and embellish the flowers later on, but that's for another time. I want to get the main project done. Just in case you're a beginner and you don't really know where to start, and you just want to make something like I did. I feel like sometimes I'm always a beginner. Sometimes I'm too scared to go and do it. It's in my mind, but trying to get it out of my mind and down onto fabric is a bit daunting. Now just there, I should have gone over a bit more, but that it did catch, so that's okay. See, I just did the tiniest little bit there. And you know what, I'm not going to worry about that one. If I was doing it all the way around, I would unpick it, but I've just done it that time. That's why you sort of put your finger behind just in case, because if you feel the needle go, you know, through there and onto your finger, then you know that you've gone through to the other underside of the fabric, which is, I don't want to do that. Ow. But then you don't stick the needle in your finger either. Move you over here. Did I do it again? No. Just getting towards the end of the video, not the video, the stitching. Looks good. That's good, because what that means is I know that's going to be the front. So that's good. Oh, I did that again. I stuck that in my finger. Now, what I'm going to do is tie a knot just a little way down, and then stitch that over there and carry that through. There, you heard a little pop. Well, you might not have heard it, but I did. Pull the thread up, let the fabric go down a little bit, chop, and then the thread goes back in underneath that. Sorry if you already know that, but maybe someone's new on my channel. Okay. So there we have it. A quick little needle book, and I will iron that off. Hasn't got a closure yet, but I will think of something, or maybe I don't want to have a closure. But my idea of making the needle book was for the fact that I am doing my hexagons, and as you can see, they're all here and squished, and now they need an iron, but I can't iron them because I should turn it up the right way. I can't iron them because they've got friction marker pens on them. So what I want to do is take them off. Hopefully I'll remember where they go. Actually, I should take a... Have I got my phone? No, I don't have a phone here. I wonder if my iPad... I don't think my iPad makes a photo, but I'll look back on the video of where they are. I'll stand up a bit. There, the ducks, the tea, the dress, the I can't remember what that one is, and there's that, and I had another one. I had this purple one, but that's okay. That one might go there. And I had another one, but I don't know what happened to it. Just let me have a look. I might have dropped it. Oh, there we go, Peter Rabbit. Where did Mr. Peter Rabbit go? Up here. Let's get him glued on. Let's get him on. Is that going there? So yes, so that's it there at the top. Peter Rabbit and that one. And those. So now I can take them off. I can take all of them off. Just a moment while I do that. Oops, I bumped the thing. Now, obviously those ones I can iron. Made these a little bit bigger, but that's okay. So I've done 1, 2, 3. I don't know if you can guess what I'm thinking of doing. Oh, I just squashed my foot. But my idea is to just put that away because I'm always losing my needles. I was going to do that, but that's okay. So this can be a needle book. Oh, I might put a pocket in there. I had something left over. Where did it go? I'm not sure. Was it just here? I did have something left over. But I don't know. Let's get back to it. So yes, my idea was to place my hexagons in here to keep them flat and ready and waiting, because they're you could stick them down with a needle. No, not a needle, a pin, but they will stay themselves on there. That's a good idea. One side and one the other side. So you could call it a hexagon keeper. Hope I'm on screen. Yep. And hopefully, I should have ironed that one, that will keep them flat, and I still have room somewhere there to put my hexagon, my needles if I want to. And I'm thinking I might do that, and I'll type out the names of chenille and the milliner's needles, and then I will sew them on there. And then I can just put them in when I know what they are, because I can't tell the difference, or a tapestry needle. So that is my little book. I just love how it feels, so squishy, but I just don't have a closure. But I do have something here for now. I do have a closure of some sort, and my brain's thinking, don't laugh, but I can't think where it is. I think it's in a different project altogether. I had some little, wind up trim thing somewhere. So I'll just use this for now. This was off my pajamas. I bought Peter Alexander pajamas, and they had these on the pajamas, the ties on the pajamas, and I don't like them, so I cut them off as much as I could, pulled it right out, and then I just snip, and then I'll keep that. So there we go. There is my needle slash hexagon keeper. So that can go in the bag. But what I wanted to show you also was the fact that if you didn't have a quilted piece or anything like that, and you wanted it quilted, I'll show you what you could do with it quilted. Now I have done a little bit of a mock-up piece. There's a button there. I don't need that. That's for something else. I'm getting sidetracked as I do. So I did a little I don't know, it's not, I'm thinking of sketch, and I know it's not, but I did a little makeup thing. The word is not coming to my mind, so I don't know what it's called. And I nearly had it, and it went. So let's just do this here. So I grabbed a piece of fabric and some wadding. If you don't have wadding, you could use flannelette, or you could use a few extra pieces of fabric to put in the middle. It doesn't have to be squishy and soft, but that's just, I like that. So this goes in the middle, and you'll see why in a minute. I put the white there because I wanted this to go in the middle. And then these two pieces, one goes here. Not sure if I want it there or over the top. I don't know. I can never decide that. It's a hard one because you like both. This one goes up here. I'm going to just go over the edge a little bit And what did I do with the other one? Can you see? Yep. Oh, you can't see that. I beg your pardon. So I've just put those there. Sorry about that. And then move this along. And we'll do this one here. I might put this one up the top. And where did my piece go? Oh, I hope you didn't hear that. And this one at the bottom, that was my belly. Don't know why we like the pieces over there, over that. Right. I should iron that. I will do. And then I have this beautiful piece that's came out of a treasure of Lucello on her website the other day, and this was in it. So I have decided I want to put that here. So I'll put a pin. Now, I have all more pins and they've all gone. What have I got left? Oh, no, they're here. Be careful I don't scratch this because with a pin, because it will pull with the threads. So this is another way you could make yourself your own quilted piece. If you don't have any quilted pieces already. All right, so that's stuck down just as temporary at the moment. Gosh, I really love that. Now, what I'm going to do is, hopefully, my pieces will fit over there, and that will go over there. Ooh, maybe put another piece there. And not a piece, a pin, I mean, sorry. I get my words right. Oh, and that's stuck down. What's going on here? No, that should be all right there. Was it? I'll just put it there. Okay, so that's going, what did I say? That was going over there, and that was going over there. Maybe this will be a good idea. Bit of blanket in the middle. Let's see what that works like. All the way along. I have no idea how I'm working this. None whatsoever. I'm just going on my brain, on my thoughts of my brain. Okay, so what was I doing there? I've got this blue here. That's right, I wanted some white down here. I will trim this off. And put the white piece there. Oh. Because if I've just put that straight over the top, you're going to see that under there, and I don't want that. I want the white to make it stand out much better. So I'm going to put the blue on that side. Turn it around and I'll put the blue on this side. There's that crow. Keep these little pieces. You never know, you might need to use them. If you want to know how to use pieces like that, head over to Sally's YouTube channel, dottybeevintage, and she shows you a lovely way of using up all your white scraps. Perfect. Right, just snip that down. Oh, where's my scrappy piece? Is that it here? I can't remember now. I might not have enough, so I'll dive into here. That's better, maybe, maybe not. Just going to fit on. If not, then you haven't got any scraps there. I don't think that's going, oh no, just a minute, get myself together. Right, I'll just go over there like that. That's what I will do. So that will go over there, that will cover that over there. I know it looks a bit of a mess, but I'm pretty sure it will work. I'll turn that round and cover that over there like that. That's what happens when you play with fabric. You get great ideas. They just pop out while you're playing around and mixing it up. Right. Are we still videoing? Yep. Right, I've got lots of overhang. That's okay. I'm not worried about that at the moment. I've just got to sort this end out again. And I've lost a piece. There we go. Sit you back under there. Now what's happening with this piece here? Oh, I've got it that way. All right. Where's our piece gone? Where's our blue piece? Here we are. We've cut that one there. Let me find the other part of it. I don't think it's going to work because I've already cut that piece off one edge, haven't I? And it was only on that one side, unless I'm getting myself confused and I can't find it. No, that must have been it. I didn't think it was. Yeah, it probably is, because that's the end of it there. Yes, it is, but that's okay. That doesn't matter. That doesn't matter. We'll sort something out, won't we? I don't know what, but we will. Oh, I know that's that bit there. I thought I found it. Right, what am I doing? I have no idea. So, this is the front. This is the inside. And just pretend all that is, I'll put a pin in there. And I'll put a pin in here just to cover the edge for now, so my brain knows what it's trying to think of. I'm running out of pins. I have no idea how long I've been on this video, so I'm hoping I haven't been too long. Just going to cover that over just slightly, and that will get all stitched down. All of that will get stitched down. Let's bring this in a little bit more. That's because that little piece is a little bit too short. Right. I'll probably even all this up anyway. That needs to get pulled sort of that way and then folded over the back. So then it's an even thing across the front. That will get ironed down. Doesn't matter that that's crooked. And so what I was wanting this piece to be is, oh, hang on, I can't deal with those overlays. I'm just going to tuck them in there because they're not playing the game and it's confusing my brain. So just let me pin this down. Don't you get days like that? And when you're working on video camera, you sort of want things to sort of go smoothly and not take forever and a day. So this is going to go here. And this is going to go there like that. And it's going to be a 3-folded pouch. So you can go over there and you can go over there. And you can have all your bits and pieces as one needle keeper. So you just fold it. You could do what am I trying to say? Some stitching down the lines, like divide it into its 3 equal parts, and then you could have your stitching line down there, so it gives it a crease, and you could have your stitching line down there. Oh, there's a button, and then you could put a pocket here for something or a pocket on the end, but then you have all this here for your stitching needles. You could also put your threads on there. I saw one lady, she put some buttons there. I think she's an Instagram lady. Oh, there's a pin, not a pin. A thingamabob, a button. So you could put buttons here. Hang on, let's divide this first. There and there. You don't have to have it this long either. There and there. So we could have that in the middle. You could have it in the middle. You have 3 sections of buttons, and then you can get your threads, your working threads, and wind them around like that. And then you can sit your needle in the same place or next to it. So that's another way I thought of making a needle keeper. Now I will get this finished, and then you've got, this could be a handle for wrapping it up. So I'm ready to do some stitching. The dogs were barking, so I had to go off and find what that was, and she did a few other bits and pieces. So I've worked out what's going on what end, so they're ready to go. This is 15.5 inches by 6.25, if you wanted to know what size it was. And I made sure that the sides were straight. Just cut this tiny little bit off here. And what was I going to say? And now we're just got to go along and do some stitching. So I'll probably do some seed stitching on here. Now, since this is going to be the inside, I'll have all the longer, what's going on there? Oh, I know. The longer threads on this side here. Oh, I've got hair in my mouth from the something or other. Come on, I just pulled you out. Always best to cut the thread. All right, let's get this underway. Maybe I'll just thread from the underside and have the bigger threads under there so I can see where I'm going. Or do you know what, maybe I should just canter stitch it. I think that's what I'll do. I think that would be best, because sometimes seed stitch and you've got long thread, you want them all even, and I'm not very even. Let's just start again. Now what you can do, if you want, you can draw some lines to give you a guide of where you want to do the stitching. So let's give that a go. Since this is for the people that are new, what have I done? Or just wanting something different. So I'll do half an inch in between the stitches. I'm not too worried if my stitches are a little bit long or short, but I do like my stitching straight-ish. Understand sometimes when you draw the ruler, with the ruler that's not 100% straight either, but it's better than my straight. And I'll leave it there. So that's a good guide of the canter, and then that will help this get placed down as well. So definitely starting on this side, I'll do a row and then I will leave it there and come back. I'm going to start in the middle. So straight down, pick it up underneath, and you can put a few on your needle. I think I'm using a big milliner's needle. Yep, that's what I like. Seed stitch is lovely, but when you've got big areas, I tend to just go with whatever's easy. Less stress and complication. And I could probably do my stitches a little bit smaller. It's hard when you get yourself in a rhythm. You just do it and off you go. Sometimes I chop and change with the way I stitch. As long as it all comes out the same, doesn't matter. So I'll come up at the end, turn it round, and then I'll go, what will I do? I will sneak up here because I'm going to have something along there, and then I'll just come straight back up because I'm on the wool side, you're not going to see it. and we'll just keep going. So I'll come back with this part of it finished.